Hey, welcome back to Wiz Creek Workshop. My name is Yuchol. We're going to continue on with the restoration of the Deckel SO grinder. On this episode, we will do some body patching and refinishing and painting to get it to look really nice. And we will also de-rust and re-blue some of the parts associated with the lower part of the grinder. So stick around. We're going to take some isopropyl alcohol and do some rough cleaning. You want to really degrease around these areas because oil, grease will just get trapped in there. In fact, I'm going to take a brush. Now you want to take something sharp and go over any loose areas, loose paint, and anything that's loose you want to chip it off. It's not bad. See, there's some back here. Okay, we're going to take 220 grit sandpaper and lightly scuff up all the surfaces. Mixing up some body filler. When you mix this, you don't want to just keep on turning it over. You want to cut it like you're chopping vegetables. And I use lightweight, light sanding fillers. Otherwise it's just too much effort sanding, and it's worked well for me. Okay, let's see here. Now we're going to start with the heavy divots first. You can always put more on. It's easier to put on than to sand off. So, but like these big craters, you want to push it in there and scrape it off. Let's see how to... These two main areas, this one and that one, are where the tool holder comes down and slams on. That's why you see a lot of paint missing. It's impossible to get them all on first try, so just gonna do my best and come back and hit the spots that I missed. Plus this sets up pretty quick anyway. Yeah, it's setting up already. That's why you don't want to mix a lot. Mix a little bit at a time. You know, I don't know why, but I've been on a Van Morrison kick. Been listening to a lot of his music lately. Pretty good. I've always liked Van Morrison, but lately, a lot of Van Morrison.
3 hours later.
120 grit sanding paper. Let's take it down to where it needs to be. You want to go in cross directions. Sand one way and sand 90 degrees to it. That way you're not digging into a certain pattern. It's like body work on your car. You want to constantly feel it with your other hand because your hands are a lot more sensitive and picking up things than your eyes are. Now that may not look like it because of all the spots, but it's a lot smoother than it was with the original finish. I won't make you watch me sand the whole thing, so I'll bring you back when I'm done. This is how it looks after the first rough sanding. I know it looks all blotchy and uneven, but it's actually pretty good. Now, you're going to need to apply another coat of body filler, but before you do that, you want to go around and identify the areas that you need to apply some more. So like right here,
One eternity later.
okay, and we'll apply another coat. We'll let this cure and then come back and sand with another 120 grit, followed by 220 grit, and it'll be ready for paint and prime and paint. So
2,000 years later.
So I just got done sanding the part. It had the second coat of body filler on, followed by 120, and just finished sanding with 220 grit sandpaper. And it looks like I don't know, a lot of spot. It's very blotchy looking, but that's just the way it is after you sand and smooth things out. So it just tells you how bumpy things were. So tomorrow I will degrease it with some acetone, mask some areas that paint doesn't get in there, and we'll prime and paint. So it's really wet outside, raining, very wet out, so today's not a good day to paint. So I can't wait. I think it's going to turn out pretty good. Beautiful Pacific Northwest day, cloudy, misty, perfect day for painting. We're going to try something different today. We're going to use Napa's let's see, what do they call it? Gray 2-in-1 primer. course, this is the type that requires screwdriver. We'll let that dry. I'm gonna go see why Cooper's barking. Well, apparently things decided that it was going too well, so ran into a problem here. Let me step back and tell you what happened. So I use this Duplicolor acrylic enamel, and shiny cap means glossy. It doesn't say flat or anything like that anywhere. So I put 3 coats on it and it just never shined up. And so I went to the store, looked at a number of different cans, and I come to realize that they changed the way they do things. So some colors, shiny cap means gloss, but other colors, shiny cap does not mean necessarily gloss. They have to say, you have to read the label on the back that says gloss. Long story short, this was never glossing up. It was just, base coat. So I went to top coat with Duplicolor matching clear coat. Well, apparently something happened and it just wrinkled up like crazy all over here. I tried to clean it up, clean up the clear coat. It wasn't working. It wasn't coming off. So I'm just gonna have to let it cure and sand off. And looking at the label carefully, I believe what happened is it says for additional coats after 1 hour wait, 7 days. So I put the last coat of gray on yesterday about 3 o'clock. And this morning I went to put the clear on. I think I just passed the recoat window and it's wrinkled up. It was solvent venting. I don't know what's going on. I mean, Duplicolor used to be just easy to use. One can, gloss, boom, you're done. And they just switched the way they do things. And I cannot find gloss in these gray colors anymore, I guess. So I'm gonna have to sand this, and I'll probably just go back to good old Rust-Oleum. Well, you saw the bad wrinkles. I took a 220 grit sandpaper, sanded all that off, and smooth again. And I'm going to reprime, just give that act as a sealer. And I'm going to try Rust-Oleum gloss on top of everything. Then I don't have to worry about clear coat or any of that. While the paint was drying on the main housing, I spent some time in here cleaning the main axle assembly, the pulleys, and a few other parts that go at the bottom of the unit. And here are some screws that I cleaned too. So I don't know if I can fit it in the frame, but just look how nasty all that was. Basically, I just used a brush with some mineral spirits, and that's That's a lot of stuff that came off of it. So to soak it in mineral spirits, use little stainless steel brushes or plastic brushes, get all that gunk off. And as you can see, some of these are a bit rusty, and I think I'm gonna dunk them in Evapor Rust. I don't have a whole lot of Evapor Rust, so I'm gonna have to do it in batches, I guess. I don't think I have enough to top it all the way. We'll see. I have more than I thought. So let me put a few more in there. The knob is kind of rusty. We'll see if it works. I bought that with my own money, so if it doesn't work well, I'll tell you, but it should work just fine.
6.5 hours later.
Let's take them out and see how they look. You just rub like that and they're gone. That's nice. I think my camera kind of turned itself off there, and I don't know where it stopped, so just want to quickly show you where everything's at. Just look at how beautiful these things turned out. You saw me apply Oxbow Blue, and then after that I wiped everything off, let it dry for a little bit, and then you just put a light coat of oil on them and just look at this wheel, the knob. That, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So very good product. I just love using that stuff. So as soon as the main housing paint dries, we can start reassembling this part of the lower main axle. I think this is a good place to pause this restoration. Next video, we're going to reinstall the main axle and associated hardware that attaches the main axle. I'm going to order main spindle grease. I think I made a decision on what to use, so I'll place an order for that and drive belt, and we'll be able to reinstall the main spindle as well. So the painting of the main housing kind of took a bad turn, but you know, we were able to salvage what we got, and what resulted in looks great. So I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.